Aloha! I am Carrie and I am back with another pick a card reading today. And this time the pick a card reading topic is what is your version of happy? First, I just want to start by saying thank you so much to everyone for joining me here. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for even just watching this video. And of course, if you like a personal reading, please check my description box for all of the info to get one. And yeah, so the question today is what is your version of happy? And I thought about this reading because I was just thinking for myself, I like to every beginning / end of the month go back through and think about the month, my goals of that month, and what, the things that made me happy, made me not so happy. And I like to just kind of adjust a little bit, like, all right, I didn't really like it when I worked so many hours the other day, so maybe I'm going to do my best not to do that anymore. Or, you know what, I didn't really like it when I hung out with that group of friends and we did this particular thing because this particular thing is not really fun to me. But I did enjoy it, I did enjoy doing it for that one time, but I don't think I'll do that so much anymore. And I was thinking, like, this is me, creating my happy life. Before, I always thought that happiness was, having a real good, stable job with a lot of money, having the hottest clothes, going to all the shows and concerts and plays and, eating the best food. Like, that to me was my version of happy before. And then I thought my version of happy was living on a nice island where I was surrounded by water and, beautiful plants and nice, amazing people. And that was, part of it too. But I'm really understanding now that my version of happy has to do with how I feel on a daily basis. Like, I want to feel good all the time. I don't just want it to be circumstantial, only when I'm around these people or only when I'm here in this place. I want it to be throughout my entire life. And so my current version of happy has to do with me personally being in a space and place where I can feel a certain type of way, which is happy. And being able to do that at any time and not, being circumstantial depending on anything. So I was like, there's people out there like me who have been searching for their own personal versions of happy. Let's do a pick a card reading and see what it is for each person. So we've got 5 different piles here, and this time we have crystals on top of them all. Pile 1 is here and it has amethyst. This is pile 2 and it's brecciated jasper. This is pile 3 and this is red hematite jasper. Pile 4 with goldstone, and then pile 5 with zebra jasper. All right, once you've picked your pile, we're gonna get started. Let's start with pile 1 here. Just to note, I'm choosing piles. I like to pause the video to choose, or just look at the home page that was created, just where you can see them all at once. And for me, it's like the one that I need to pick kind of winks at me. It's like, this is it. Here I am. And so that's the one I tend to choose. But sometimes multiple wink at me, so I'll just go whichever one winks first, and then I pick from that order. Like, I'll watch all the videos that resonate with me or that call me. But there's so many different ways to choose a video. Maybe you always have or to choose a pile, you might always have your number, like your number is 1, your life path number is 1, so you always choose number 1. But yeah, there's different ways. Just figure out which way of picking a card is best for you. And then, yeah, let's get started. Okay, so this is pile number 1 with the amethyst. Amethyst is all about intuition. It's about protection too, because it helps you see what's coming. It's one of the most popular crystals that are out there. It's a version of quartz. And so let's see what your version of happy is. This first card is going to be what your version of happy is. It's going to be the answer to the question. And for pile 1, you have letting go. Everything is indeed out of control, and God will hold it all. I can safely let go. So I'm already thinking, like, if you were to live a life in which letting go was a thing, you would really be into non-attachment, like this person here. I'm sure this person is a god, but I'm not quite sure which one he is. But he's sitting there meditating. There's a lot going on around him, but he's so very much wrapped up into what he is into. And all this other stuff, like even this person, like all this other stuff does not really matter. It's just this person being at one with themselves. So not worrying about anything but letting go. So that is what your version of happy is. But let's get some clarifying cards. Start out with these two. Strengthening bonds, Six of Cups. Automatically, when I look at this and I see letting go, it's so funny. It's like letting go and then strengthening bonds. But to me, those do actually go together because it's talking about setting up your life in which you're not going to have to be the one that's in control of everything because you're surrounded by people who can handle their own. Like imagine being in a codependent situation where you are having to do all the work. You are having to be the one who wakes the people up in the morning, who cooks the meal, not children, we're talking about adults here. Or if you're in a work situation that is codependent where you are the one who keeps the office together, when you leave, nothing gets done. Like that is not a sustainable model. You're going to be burned out with that. But in this version of letting go and this happiest life for you, you're surrounded by people who they hold their own. Everybody holds their own. And like the bond that you have with them is great. It's like everybody has their own place in the situation. Whether this is a family or a work situation or a friendship, like your entire life, everybody has their place and they're holding their own in that place. You don't have to come in and rescue anyone. There's strong bonds. When I see the Six of Cups, it reminds me of nostalgia or your childhood or just even going back to the past. So it's interesting because maybe you have been in a situation before where everybody held their own. Or maybe you were in the opposite situation of that. Let me get some more clarifying cards when it comes to that. I'm just going to move these over here. So we have Seeker, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. Father, talent for creating and supporting life. Positive guiding light within a tribal unit. And then Child Divine, innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. This is interesting that we have father and child, and we have letting go, and then we have strengthening bonds, and also the Six of Cups. This is reminding me of a familial relationship. So maybe you are the father or the parent, or you could be the child in this situation, but it's like your version of happy is if all of your family, or like if you're a mom or dad, like your version of happy would be your kids being self-sustainable, like them being able to go out, live their own lives, create their own opportunities, like them not necessarily needing to come to you for all the things or being super dependent on you. So even if it's babies, like you may really want to raise some independent babies who are able to be out there, like once my children grow up, they're going to be so confident and they're going to be able to navigate in this world on their own. They're not going to need to call on me every hour, but they, of course, will know that I am there because we have that strong bond, but they're not going to need me. They're going to be self-sufficient, independent. They're going to be capable on their own. If you are a child and you're worried about your parent in this aspect, then letting go is just going to be like, okay, I know that my parents, they're getting older, but they are going to be set up to live the best life that they can possibly live because I have created this environment. So whether it be they have their own house and it's set up for them, like there's no stairs there because they might be getting older and they're not able to walk up and down stairs, or they have caretakers that are able to help take care of whatever issues there are. That might be the thing that you really want for your happiest life. Like, I don't want to have to worry about my parents. I want to make sure they're set up for life. They have all the finances they need. Everything is good. And Seeker, this card. Yeah. It's really like you don't want to have to be worried about your family or, whatever that familiar relationship is. It might even be a work situation, but I'm very strongly getting parent-child dynamics here. You don't want to have to worry about them because you want to be able to be free to live your own life, to make your own decisions and choices without so much having to be dependent on what these other people need and want at the time. It's like I have my own wants and needs. I don't want to have to be dependent on what these people need. Of course, they are very strongly bonded to me. I love them so much. I want them to have the best life ever, but it cannot be up to me. I need to let it go. I need to let God handle this, but I also need to make sure that I have done my part in setting them up for success. So that is going to be your best life. You having set those people up for success and you doing your best to do that. So this last card here is just advice for how you can live your best life. And this one says, always do your best. Express your own divinity. You don't need the acceptance of others. You don't need knowledge or great philosophical concepts. You have the right to be you, and you express your own divinity by being alive and by loving yourself and others. So this card is basically telling you that even though you have these familiar responsibilities, you've got your family, your kids, maybe your parents, your spouse, like you have all of these responsibilities, but at the same time, you are your first priority. And it's okay to put yourself first. Just make sure you're doing your best by the rest of the people in your life. Like you need to take care of yourself first. Just like that whole, seatbelt thing that we always talk about, put your seatbelt on first before you help others. But in order for you to have a sustainable life, you need to be making sure your cup is filled first. You need to be taking care of yourself first, and that's what this advice is giving you. Your best life is you allowing other people to make their own mistakes, making sure you set them up for success, but then letting that go, because you can't be there to control and to make sure and to help all the time, because you have your own life to live. Your best life is going to be living your own life, filling your own cup first. But again, like emphasis on setting them up for success, whether it's your parents or your children. However the relationship dynamic goes, that's going to give you your best life, because you won't be feeling, hopefully, guilty. You won't be feeling guilty about doing your own thing, because you have done your best when it comes to setting those other people in your life up for success. You've taught them everything. You've shown them how to do everything. You've set it up, everything. Like, this is your bank account. This is how you do X, Y, Z with your bank account. This is your house. These people are who you need to call if you need to take care of this, that, and the other. Like, you're putting it in God's hands, but also the hands of these people who are capable of taking care of themselves. Okay, pile one, that is what your version of happy is. Move on to pile two here. Okay, pile two, we have Brecciated Jasper as your crystal. This was really, very brecciated. So it's very broken up. That's what brecciated means. And this is interesting because Jasper to me is about strength and courage. And to see this crystal all broken up but still whole, it's like you may have gone through a lot, but that gave you strength, courage, wisdom. And it's come from all different places, because all these pieces, none of them really look alike. So you have strength, courage, and wisdom from all the different things that you've gone through in your life. So let's get to what's your version of happy. This first card is going to be the answer to that question. Change. When the ego finally sees the utter madness of trying to control everything, you come to a sacred crossroads in your own evolution. This card even looks a little bit chaotic. There's a lot going on, a lot of different colors, but it's talking about change. It's like, why try to control all of these different things in different colors? Why would you even want it to be all the same color? Very interesting. So we have change. Change is what's your best version of happy. Let's get some clarifying cards here. Start out with these three. Sacral chakra, choose your battles, and the hanged one. So when I look at these cards, I'm thinking about passion, like to see sacral chakra and then choose your battles. You might be out here, you might be one of those people who run around all the time and just like they're busy all the time. Like it's difficult to get their time and attention. Even when they're sitting still, it looks like they're still, like their mind is running, thinking about so many different things. Like they're just busy bodies is what we would say in the South. This is interesting. I'm gonna pull the other clarifying card so I can get a better picture of what's going on here. Got trickster and teacher. Trickster, transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Teacher, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Change. It's funny because looking at this crystal and talking about fighting different battles and having strength from different, like just going through a lot of different situations, and seeing that change is your main card. This is really helping me to see that you're like you like going through a lot of different things. I say but like that's kind of how you live your life, or how you want to live your life. You wouldn't be happy if you were, having a 30-year mortgage, staying in the same job, and retiring after I don't know how many years people work a job, let's say 40 years being on the same job. That seems like a long time. You wouldn't be happy doing that. You have all this passion. It's like all this fire inside of you. And it doesn't have to be burned off, but if you're just sitting there, then you're not happy. Like you wouldn't be happy being the hanged man. You are one of those people who want to go, like a go-getter, somebody who wants to learn so many different things. You don't want to just stay in the same spot. It says transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Like when I think of the trickster card, I do think of somebody who is able to just like change, kind of like a shapeshifter. You're able to change very quickly. And you're going to be somebody who is unpredictable because you're not going to be doing the same thing. But imagine having all of this knowledge from all of these different places. Simple interactions that people may have in their everyday life, they won't be so simple around you because you've got all this knowledge and experience from other places. Your reactions are not going to be the same. It's difficult for me to describe the energy that I'm feeling right now, but you just bring a whole different type of energy. Like you're one of those people that people would probably love to be around because you're very exciting. You have a different perspective, a way of looking at it. You might even joke a lot and make people laugh a lot. But being able to be like that very active, moving person, like you're not going to be someone who wants to sit in the same desk 8 hours a day. So your happy, or your version of happy, is going to involve you being able to move around a lot, to talk to a lot of different people, to not like maybe even if like a job in particular, you would want to have a job in which you could travel. One of those jobs that allow you to talk to people all the time. One of those jobs that just allow you to not be sitting in the same spot. Like you got a lot of energy that you want to burn. And then seeing this teacher, the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom, is really making me think of you being someone who people come to for advice. Again, with the talking to a lot of different people, like you would be talking about or teaching them something. So I don't know, even sales, a job that you might be really good in, or being a teacher in real life, but maybe on a higher level, because I know sometimes being a teacher in like elementary school, it could be a little bit repetitive with the same things, teaching them over and over again. But you might be happy because you get to see new students all the time, new students every week. And I think that too, if you were a teacher, you would be in one of those really fast-paced environments where there's not enough teachers and a whole lot of students. So you would be, you would be using all of that fire energy that you have inside of you to convey your messages to these students. And maybe you'd be doing it in a really fun way, a really fun and creative way. So that's what you would like for your life. You want change. You want more movement, more energy, more like you want to be where the excitement is going on. That doesn't, it can be your work too, but also just your daily, everyday life. You don't want to wake up and do the same thing every day. You want to do something different and something fun. But I am getting a warning here because I'm seeing choose your battles and the hanged one here. You might be a little bit stuck in not knowing what you want to do in life. You're like, I don't know where to go, what to do, what's the best thing. And the message I'm getting for you is there is no best thing. You came here to live, like truly live and experience. So what is the thing that's making you the most excited right now? That's what you need to go do. It's not like a right path for you. It is a next, let me try this. Ooh, I want to try that. Ooh, skiing? I've never skied. I'm going to do that. You know what? I have never taught people how to do origami. I want to do that. Let me teach this, I have this special skill. I'm really good at writing. I want to teach that. Or I want to go and do that. I want to try that. So for you, is your life is not necessarily like a linear path, like, okay, I am going to get this degree, I am going to get this job, I'm going to get this house. You want to experience it all. You really want to go out there and do and live and be and, like, I don't know, experience. You just want to go. Which is very fun and exciting. It can be a little bit stressful, but if you know that that's what you want and love, then you're like, okay, it'll be easier for you to ride your own roller coaster. And so this last card is a card of advice for you to be happy in your situation. So it's always do your best. Stay in the present moment. Keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. This is the beginning of a new understanding, a new dream. And I love this advice because it really goes well with you wanting to do a whole bunch of different things and change so much. Wanting to do a bunch of different things is totally fine and cool. But sometimes, especially if you change a lot, you'll be looking for that next thing rather than staying in the energy that you are in now. Because remember, before you were here where you are now, you were looking to be here. And so instead of looking to be in the next place, stay where you are. Like, really soak it in, really, pay attention every day. Like, you know what? I get to work with this person every day. I get to see this person every day. I get to see this place every day. This is amazing. Instead of like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of being here. I want to move on to the next place. But really appreciating where you are right now. It's just the fact that your happiest life is you living a lot, like experiencing a lot. You would really need to soak up the experiences that you're experiencing. If that makes any sense. Because you want to experience it. You want to experience it all. That's your happiest life. So instead of wanting to move on to the next thing so quickly, just soak it up where you are. Soak it fully up and then move on, and not be in the middle of you having this new experience thinking about your next one. Okay, that is your advice, pile 2, and that is what is your version of happy. Let's move on to pile 3. Pile 3, your crystal is red hematite jasper. So this is jasper with hematite in it. I love hematite. Hematite is very grounding, and that's what this crystal is really all about. Jasper is more about strength and courage, but hematite is about grounding and protection. So having like strength and courage and that grounding and protection, this is really good for just walking around and being like, yeah, I'm that person. I am that. I am him, as they say. That's who I am. And really knowing and being strong in that. So the question we're asking is, what is your version of happy? And this card is going to be the answer to that. So what is your version of happy? Divine Source. Help me know that all my deepest needs will be met. Let me trust that you have a plan and the right actions will come. You are my source for all. I love this. Because in order to have the confidence that I'm talking about, you would be walking around with this crystal. You got to know that you are safe, protected, and loved at all times. You have to know that. And this prayer, help me know that all my deepest needs will be met. Imagine walking around knowing that everything is going to be all right at all times. All my needs will be met. I'm good. I am straight. I am set. Everything else is just cherries on top. If you walk around with that energy, wow. So that is what your version of happy will be. And let's just get some clarifying cards. I'm going to start with these two here. Well-deserved reward and 9 of Wands. This is interesting. These are both 9s. This actually might be 9 of Wands. And this is the Psychic Tarot for the heart. It's like 2 cards repeating each other. 9 of Wands. But it's so funny because normally 9 of Wands card, when I look at it, is like this person is fearful. They call it the wounded warrior. But I am not seeing that today. I am seeing somebody who, like, this warrior might be wounded, but that's not the number one thing that's about. Sorry, that is not the number one attribute that I would say describes them. Like, I think the warrior part is the part that describes them. Like, you really don't want to mess with this person if you come across them. It's kind of like, I don't have nothing to lose. But not in a desperate way, but in a, like, I know my skills and ability. I know what I can do. I know what I can handle, and I can handle anything. Like just that strength and confidence. And then seeing this well-deserved reward, it's just very much about like you, whatever you've gone through in your life, or maybe not even gone through, maybe, which is would be wonderful. Maybe you were raised to believe that you are safe, loved, and cherished, and that nothing can hurt you. That would be a lovely thing. But because we're looking at the wounded warrior, it's really given the things that you have gone through have taught you that you are safe, protected, and loved. Like you have learned that, you have earned that because you have gone through all of these battles. It's like you have gone on the obstacle course. You know, like the one that they have those military people do. They got to go over and under and climb through the mud. And you know, the I'm thinking about the movie Hercules movie where he has to go through those things that like close and snap, and there's like barbs on them that could kill him, but he just goes right through it like it's nothing for him because he has trained for this. This is what I'm seeing for you. Well-deserved reward. Your version of happy is knowing that nothing can touch you, nothing can hurt you because you have been through it all, you've done it all, you have conquered it all. Let's get some more clarifying cards. We have Knight and Mother. Knight is loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. And I'm just reading the light attribute here. We're talking about our best version, our happiest version of life. So I don't believe that the shadow attributes are going to come into play in this reading. And then we have Mother. Nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. This is so interesting because it's literally making me think about you needed to go through all of these things so that sorry, I'm getting another visual. It's like you're building your castle, but the castle is not a physical castle. It's like it's you. You are the castle. But castles are not just, houses. Like they're not going to be made out of straw. They're not going to be, what is the Three Little Pigs? They're not going to be made out of sticks. They're going to be solid. They're not even going to be made out of bricks. Like these things are made out of big stone blocks when you think of castles. Like castles are impenetrable. Not only do they have the stone walls, they have the moat going around them. They have the drawbridge. They have the big solid door with the little things that come down. They've got people protecting them. Like you have built your castle up to where you feel safe. You are feeling completely safe. You feel blessed. You feel loved. And you're able to bring out these mothering characteristics. Like it's like you are in a safe place in which you feel safe to give birth. And give birth is like a metaphor because maybe there's creations that you want to bring into this world, but you don't want nobody to touch them, steal them from you. You don't want, copyright infringement, whatever it is. Even if you're giving birth to an actual baby, you want to be in a place where that baby will be safe. So you have gone through whatever it is that you felt you needed to go through. You have had all the questions that you needed answered so that you can go safely into your castle and give birth to this baby or this project or this even way of being, because there's certain ways of being that you can't be in certain places. And I'm thinking about in particular LGBTQ here in the United States. In some places it's just not safe to be yourself, but you have done what you needed to do within yourself, and also you found a space outside of yourself too where you feel safe. Inside, outside, upside down, left, right, everything. You are safe, completely safe. You have this confidence. I can be myself fully. That is what your version of happy would be. So I don't know if you've done this already, or if you're on your way to this, or if you just needed to know that that is what your version of happy is, knowing that nothing can hurt you and going to this place where you're able to just give birth to the things that you want to give birth to in this life. I also see Knight, loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. This is about the people who are around you. I was talking about a castle. The castle is protected by the knights. The knights are actually the ones, I believe, who bring the money to the castle. Like the king is just the king, but the knights got to go, tell their people to farm and garden so they can sell the stuff, so they can pay dues to the knight, so the knight can pay the king. That's what I'm thinking it goes like. But if it doesn't go like that, just know for this reading, that's how it's going to go. So the knights are the people who are around you. you're making sure too that the people who are around you who have access to your castle are not only not only loyal to you, but they love you too. Like they have your best interests at heart. They might even be chivalrous in that, like, they see you as someone worth protecting, worth opening doors for, worth going the extra mile for, just to make you comfortable. Like just off top automatic, because that's the type of people that they are, because that's the type of people you've chosen to be around you. Ones who see you as someone worth protecting, worth loving. So those are the types of people who will have access to your castle and access to your creations too. So you're making sure in your happiest life that those people are there in it, and the ones who are not, going to have these attributes are not allowed to be there. So I have 2 cards of advice. The first one, this is just advice for how you can get there, how you can live this version of your happy life. It says, don't make assumptions. Say goodbye to sadness and drama. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. The world of control between humans is based on that. Take a moment and consider this. I kind of feel like this card speaks for itself. In your new life, in your happiest life, particularly between you and the people that you are with, you're going to have the best communication, because you're not going to be wondering like, hey, there's clothes on the floor. Did you throw those clothes on the floor just to upset me? You wouldn't be asking questions like that. You would be like, hey, I understand that you didn't have time to put your clothes away, but we have this agreement in this house that we do that. We just put our clothes in the hamper because it makes all of us happy. I just want to remind you of that agreement so that we can go forward in harmony. And if you want to change the agreement, let's talk about it and let's see where else we can go. But you won't be in this new life. Your intentions are not going to be to be surrounded by people in which you can't have open, honest conversations with. And it won't be so stressful in the communication. They're going to be people who are emotionally intelligent, who can say, oh, no, it was my bad. I'm sorry, I forgot. I was just in a hurry. And you know that you won't have to take it personally or make any assumptions when it comes to their intentions towards you. And then the next set of advice we have is speak openly and honestly. When you speak openly and honestly, you won't have to make assumptions. The day you stop making assumptions, you will communicate cleanly and clearly and achieve impeccability with your word. All of those words, all those long words. But this is, again, going toward it's kind of repeating itself when it's talking about the other assumption, or the other advice card. Your happiest life, you will be able to speak your truth. And maybe now or in the past, you haven't been able to really say what you want to say. So maybe you had to sugarcoat things, and maybe you had to wait for the right time, and all that. But now you're going to be more comfortable in speaking your truth, because you know that you'll be around people who have your best interests at heart, who want to hear what you have to say, who won't silence you because it's something that is uncomfortable to hear. But you're safe to say, like, this is what's really on my mind. This is what's really going on with me. When they ask you how you're doing, oh, fine. Like, that's not something that you'll be saying. You'll really be saying, you know what? Today I woke up and this is how I was feeling when I woke up today. And then I saw you and I just smiled because I was so happy to see you. Like, it will be a real answer when they ask you how you're doing, because you're going to feel safe and open to say that. So this is your advice. Like, this is kind of like the energy that you'll have. This is how you'll know who those knights are in your life, because you'll be able to speak openly and honestly to them. Okay. Pile 3, that is your message. That is what your version of happy is. Moving on to pile 4. So your crystal is Goldstone, pile 4. I really like Goldstone. It is a man-made crystal, but you can't really tell here on my camera, but this is like one of the most sparkly crystals I've ever seen. The sparkles in there are copper. Copper to me reminds me of your heart. Goldstone also reminds me of wealth. So when I look at this crystal, I'm thinking about, I don't want to say wealthy heart, but the energy I'm getting from this reading from your cards before even looking at them is that you're gonna really want abundance when it comes to your love life, to Just like your life in general, you want love surrounding you. But let's see. Let's see what the cards say. So what's your version of happy? This card is going to be the answer to that question. Freedom. I no longer want this fiery ring of resentment to block the good. Release me from its bonds. So what I'm getting from this card is you want freedom from the past, like whatever has happened to you before. You don't want that to factor in to your new life or whatever happens to you at any time. You want to be free and open. You don't want to be controlled by things that are outside of yourself. You just want to be free to live and be. So let's get some clarifying cards. We have challenging times, balance, awaiting results, and the 9 of Swords. Let's start over here. This challenging time card, it reminds me of, like, this guy is showing up. He's got his shield. He looks a little bit resigned, but he's like, all right, I can do it. I'm ready. I got my stuff. I'm ready. I can face whatever it is that's coming. And then this balance card, this is the Lovers, Gemini. And then I'm waiting results. This is interesting. It's reminding me. Oh, actually, this is Temperance. This is not the Lovers, but this is Temperance. But you see how they're looking out of the same eye? It's really reminding me of the Lovers card. Balance. This is reminding me of like waiting for the good to come or waiting for the balance to return to your life. But I know that your version of happy is not going to be waiting. So let me think about this a little bit. It's reminding me of like in the past you've gone through a lot of things. But now, like if you see this balance card, it's balanced right now on this pyramid. Like these people are forming a pyramid and they're balanced on top of the pyramid. So like before, maybe the pyramid was, maybe you were tipped too far to this way. And now you're slowly watching or waiting, seeing it being tilted to where it's perfectly in balance. And so for your happy's life, like your version of happy is going to be a life that is balanced, in which like there's not too much negative. It's not overwhelmingly positive either, but it's just like right there in the center. It's like just right, like turning that dial, that knob, just right. Let's get some more clarifying cards. That's Servant, God, and Gossip. Very interesting. Servant says, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. God, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the internal force within yourself and others. And then Gossip, awakens considerations for the feelings of others, honoring trust. So this, especially when I see this Freedom card and it says, I don't want the fiery ring of resentment to block the good. Release me from its bonds. This entire spread is reminding me of you having experienced something that was not so great in the past and you being really angry about it. And so you lived your life in an angry way. You were, just resentful. Like, I'm not going to help these people. Nobody helped me when I was going through this and that. But like definitely that energy of, it's not my responsibility because nobody helped me. I'm not going to extend myself because nobody did that for me. But you have come out of this thing, whatever it is that you went through. You've come out of it strong, knowing that you could, like, you're okay during challenging times. It's like one of those, like, nothing can break me because I've been through it all already. Like, you're okay through those challenging times. And you are wondering, like, okay, where's the hero at? Where's the person who was supposed to save me? Like, you're wondering about that, but you're also kind of getting an inkling that, like that Mariah Carey song, "A Hero Lies in You." Like, you're seeing that you are the hero yourself. But because of this resentment, you're just like, yeah, I'm the hero myself, but I'm not going to go out here and help anybody else. I'm not going to extend myself. Like, yeah, I saved myself from this situation, but somebody else should have been there for me. Like, you have those judgments within yourself right now. And in your happiest life, you're going to be freed from those judgments, and you're going to be free to be allowed to get out there and help somebody else who's going through something that you're going through, or something that you know that you can offer assistance in. You can give advice. Like, maybe you see stuff going down all the time. Like, oh, I remember this because I was in that situation before. But I'm not going to say nothing because it's none of my business. Like, maybe you're going to make it a part of your business, or even make a business to be able to deal with or handle these things. That's what I'm getting from this servant card. Delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. A free and loving heart, freedom. You want to be able to have that free and loving heart, but you might be holding on to the past and the things that have happened to you, and the fact that nobody did that for you. Like, no one helped me, so why would I help anybody else? Like, why? That's not logically making sense. I became this strong because I went through all these things, so they need to go through it too. That might be your mindset right now, but living your happiest life is knowing that you didn't go through those things for no reason. Like, you went through those things so that you have the unique skills, the unique abilities to assist other people who are going through that. Like, you could go back in time as yourself and be your own savior. Like, if you had that ability, because you know how to help people who have been through this situation. So living your best life, you would have the freedom to do that. You would have the freedom to go and help others, assist others, tell your story, talk about it. Even, you might not even have to do anything, but just talking about it and sharing your story and letting other people know that they are not alone, that they have the power to get out of it. All they need to do is X, Y, and Z, because look, this is what I did. This is how I survived. But being able to share your story, that's why I'm seeing God here. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the internal forces within yourself and others. So seeing the things that helped you get through and how you survived, and seeing other people who are in that same situation. Like, look, you have the same thing I got. I was where you are 10 years ago, but look at where I am now. I kicked that habit. I overcame that situation. You can do it too. I'm no different than you. And seeing that, instead of, being upset or mad about the situation that you've gone through, seeing that you can do something about it. When I see this honoring trust, it says awakens consideration for feelings of others, honoring trust. Trusting that sharing your story with others will help them. It's not going to scare them away or make them think negatively about you or make them gossip about you. And even if it does, then so what? What are they going to do to you? You've been through it all already. This is your truth. Sharing it is your way of helping, your way of serving. And so your best life, you will feel free to do that. You won't feel so constrained by the things that happened in the past, by the anger that you have because of the past, or by whoever is in the past that has, maybe silenced you in some kind of way. You're going to be brave enough to get out there, to speak your truth, and to do your best to help others. So I have a card here. Oh, wow. We've got a centipede. One moment. Okay, so I don't know if you all have encountered a centipede or feel drawn to centipedes, or if you know anything about centipedes. But if you're watching this reading, I would look centipedes up and see what their meaning is, because, yeah, we just had one crawl across my spread here when I was about to give you your advice for living your version of happy. So here's the advice. Don't take anything personally. Your truth is personal to you. Your own opinions and point of view reflect your own agreements and are personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours. So the advice is really speaking your truth from your perspective. There may be some people who don't agree with it, or who think, like, why are you talking about that? Why are you saying that? Why are you even speaking that out loud? Like, that's not anybody else's business or purpose. That's usually the ones who have perpetrated the thing, But there may be some people who don't want you to speak this truth, or even some like, they don't want you to tell the truth. They just want you to be like, oh, everything's great, everything's hunky-dory. But it's saying your point of view is important to speak. It's personal to you. It's no one's truth but yours. Nobody gets to control what comes out of your mouth, how you say it, why you say it, when you say it. It is your own personal truth. and living your happiest life, you're going to have the freedom to speak that truth, to share your story, and to help others through that. So that is your advice, and that is the answer to what is your version of happy. All right, pile 4. We're going to move on to pile 5. Okay, pile 5. This is Zebra Jasper. I want to say Zebra Jasper is all about expressing yourself. Expressing yourself. I can't say it. Showing your true colors, like showing who you really and truly are, by really expressing yourself. Think about a zebra. I mean, like, what's the difference between a horse and a zebra? Like, a zebra, to me, is colorful. Well, it's black and white, but it's colorful. It stands out. It's striking. So this first card is going to be the answer to the question, what is your version of happy? So that is love. Divine source is the idea that no person, place, or thing is your salvation, only love itself. How beautiful is that? So in your version of happy, you're going to have a lot of love in your life. Let's get some clarifying cards. We'll start with these two, heal, and then the Page of Wands. I want to say that this heal card is the Star. When I think about the Star, I mean, look at this guy. He's like breaking chains, breaking bonds. Anything that's holding him back, he's like, psh, get that off of me. I am healed. I'm not allowing anything from the past or whatever from what other people have said to hold me back. But when I see the heal card and I see the Page of Wands right after that, it's like you're starting over. You're turning a new page, just starting over, beginning brand new, without any of the past or any of the other things that have been stopping you from moving forward affecting you anymore. And especially when it comes to love, whatever heartbreak that you've gone through, you're healing yourself from that, or you will, for your best life or your happiest life, you will have been healed from that, and you will exist as if that hasn't happened. This Page of Wands card, it's pages are young, they're youthful, like they're that youthful, curious energy, and just seeing her looking at this wand like this, she's like, let's see how this thing works. Let's see what's going to happen on this new journey. Let's see what's going on. You know what I mean? It's very curious. She's got a lot of questions and she's going to get the answers. She's not sitting down asking these questions. She's like directing herself like, okay, let's see which way, this way. Let's try this out. So in your happiest life, you're going to be curious. You're going to be a little bit more curious than you have been, particularly when it comes to love. And then we have Companion. Loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. I love it. So this whole entire spread is reminding me of maybe you've been heartbreaking. Maybe you've been heartbroken in the past, or even in the past, you had a certain type of person that you would only date because you knew that you were safe in that. Like with those boundaries, oh, they've got to have this job, they've got to do this thing, they've got to have this kind of family, be from this background. Like you may have been very, very closed off to the type of love that you are open to receiving, whether it comes from a person or even from situations. Like, I'm not gonna go to places that don't have these things and these people. Like, I'm even thinking about church. Like, sometimes in church, I grew up Southern Baptist, so it was very, very specific in the types of things that were acceptable and not acceptable. It was very specific, is the only word I can think of. And so now maybe you're opening your mind to what is love and what is acceptable, and the type of people acceptable, the type of actions, the type of places that you can live, and, you know, things that you can do and try and be. Like, everything is open now because you were so closed off before to only being able to receive this type of thing and do that type of thing and dress this way. Like, it was very closed. But in your best life, you're going to be free to love and to express yourself. I mean, like the zebra we were talking about. You're going to be able to show your true colors and ask yourself, okay, you know, I thought that I would only wear long skirts and long sleeve shirts, but now I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna, you know, try a new style. I'm gonna wear pink. Like just switching things up, trying new and different things, because you're understanding that love can be more than one thing. It doesn't have to be just this person. I can only love this person or this type of person. I can only wear this type of clothes or do that type of thing. I can only go to these type of places. Like you're open now to seeing and receiving and knowing what love is across the board. This card saying that divine source is the idea that no person, place, or thing is your salvation, only love itself. So instead of being like, this is the specific thing that I can accept for love or to feel loved or for it to be love and acceptable, like, no, that is like you're expanding. You can see my hands. You're going from being more close to what you thought love was to expanding your idea of that. And that is not just in relationships with people, but in the way you view and see and accept things that are around you. Only love itself. So figuring out what love is, what love looks like, smells like, sounds like, you're going on this journey. And for you to be your happiest self, you would be able to question that and to go on more of a journey. And because I'm looking at this companion card and it looks like two women, you might be questioning your sexuality and whether or not you want to be in a same-sex relationship, or whether or not that's acceptable for you, whether or not you are attracted to the same sex. Like you might be going on a journey like that. That can be just for some people, but that's also what I'm seeing here. When I see this companion, I see two women here. You might be interested in being in a relationship with the same sex person, but you've never explored that. And so in your best life, you would be open to doing that. Or you would be open to allowing yourself to even consider that, whereas before you weren't. So I wanted to get some advice, and this is the card of advice for what's your version of happy. This is advice for how to live that life. And this card says, always do your best. Your best is changing all the time. Your best will depend on whether you are refreshed in the morning or tired at night. Your best will be different when you are happy as opposed to upset, or healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstances, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So this is interesting because it reminds me of you not being sure or certain about what path to take or what to do or what's acceptable or not, but just trusting yourself and your intuition, and that trusting that your intentions are good, trusting that you're out here wanting to answer some questions that you've had your entire life, and that you're open to doing that, and knowing that you might make a wrong step or wrong turn, but you're not going to judge yourself because you did your best with the knowledge that you had at that time, and you want to learn and grow from that. So not judging yourself based on your past decisions or based on things that you feel like you've done quote unquote wrong, but knowing that I did my best with the knowledge that I had at the time. I'm going to continue to do my best moving forward. Now I have I know more, I know better. So now I'm going to do better. I'm going to show up differently. I'm going to accept this. I'm going to love more. I'm going to be more open and honest and, with the people who are around me. So it's like you're really expanding yourself, especially with this heal card. You're changing and expanding yourself from what you used to believe and know and think to more updated beliefs. And that is what is going to be make you the happiest, or that's what's going to be your version of happy, a life in which you're able to do that, to expand outside of the norm, to form different and new relationships with people that you may have even had before, but with your new knowledge and new understanding of them because you've been seeking more, and your forgiveness of yourself for making those assumptions that you did. You're going to live a more open and expanded life and have completely different relationships with people that are already in your life right now. Okay, so that is your version of happy, Pile 5. Thank you so much for watching this reading. I will see you next time.